As we close in on day 23 of the promised fully unredacted Epstein file list that was sitting on Pam Bondi's desk over 3 weeks ago, as she proclaimed to the entire world on Fox News in front of Jesse Waters, "Yes, you will get the full list. It's sitting on my desk."
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
Republicans have bigger fish to fry in that the Minnesota State Senate has introduced a bill, SF number 2589, proposed by Republican senators, which seeks to amend state statutes to officially recognize, that's right, Trump derangement syndrome. They won't talk about Trump deification syndrome, but they will talk about the derangement aspect, classifying it as a mental illness. The bill defines TDS as a condition significantly impacting daily function due to irrational fear or hatred of Donald Trump. And they're also grouping in with that the legitimate objective criticism of Donald red flag gun confiscation law, signing the $6.2 trillion power and wealth transfer to the big pharma industrial complex and the corporate elitist, Donald Trump. That's Donald, I will protect Hillary Clinton at all costs, Trump. That's the guy you people on the right, you MAGA supporters, are supporting. Oh, I must be suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. This legislative move has sparked discussions and a range of reactions, with some treating it with humor and irony while others engage in debates about its implications. Trump licker Benny Johnson, who somehow managed to poke his head out from under the Resolute desk long enough to fire off a post, says, "Minnesota state Republicans just introduced a bill classifying Trump derangement syndrome as a mental illness." It is such a frickin' joke. Here's what the actual bill says. Mental illness means Trump derangement syndrome, or an organic disorder of the brain, or a clinically significant disorder of thought, mood, perception, orientation, memory, or behavior that is detailed in a diagnostics codes list published by the commissioner, and that seriously limits a person's capacity to function in primary aspects of daily living, such as personal relations, living arrangements, work, and recreation. And if that wasn't bad enough, we now have President Trump suggesting that President Biden's pardons could be invalid because it was signed with an Autopen, and that is highlighted in a recent New York Post article. Biden sources suspect key aide may have abused Autopen as Trump's far more restrictive signing rules revealed. And what is this actually doing to people? People are thinking that prosecutions are now going to begin. Listen, if Trump didn't prosecute, but rather commended people like Anthony Fauci for his, quote, exceptional efforts on Operation Warp Speed, don't expect prosecutions for these people in the future. As a matter of fact, if you're not sheeple-minded and busy soaking your wool in the statist Kool-Aid of insanity, you'll actually expect Trump to do nothing to these criminals. If he said in the campaign leading up to 2016, the 2016 C-election process, that he was going to jail Hillary Clinton, and he had how long to do it and still didn't do it, and at the very end of it said, "I know you're not going to understand this, but I was there to protect her. I was protecting the former First Lady of the United States. It would just be embarrassing to throw her in prison." If he's not going to jail the Clintons, he's not going to jail anyone. And I said as much on my X page when I said Con Inc. is all excited about the prospect that the Trump administration is going to prosecute the criminals in Biden's administration. It's fantasy. Everybody knows the banksters won't let their political puppets prosecute other higher-ranking political puppets. So Fauci, Biden, including Hunter, Birx, that's Deborah Birx, remember, CDC, and the Clintons are safe. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's a big club, and as much as you think you're a part of it, you ain't in it and never will be. Trump will continue to protect them, just like he admitted he protected Hillary Clinton. So, there's this fantasizing going on, this unrealistic, almost like an out-of-body experience fantasizing that Donald Trump is actually going to save Americans. If you want to make America great again, if you truly want to free Americans and lift the burden from their backs, then at the very least, the first thing you would do, income tax gone, IRS gone, instituting a sound money system and prosecuting and jailing the central banking cartel. Why won't he do that though? Because they control him. More on that in an upcoming video, because I found a very, very interesting clip thanks to some help from people on X, who passed along some pretty interesting things to me about a particular podcast that President Trump did, admitting that there are forces that control the most powerful person in the world, the President of the United States. A key aide to former President Joe Biden may have exceeded their authority by liberally using an Autopen to sign official documents, according to two former White House sources who are going to remain nameless. Of course, conveniently, they always remain nameless. You're not going to get any names out of these people because these reliable sources ain't exactly reliable, but it will make good news and it will sell a lot of articles. As President Trump's aides set up far more restrictive rules governing the use of the mechanical device. A document obtained by the Post outlines the narrow set of circumstances in which Trump's signature can be affixed to documents following controversy this week kicked off by a Heritage Foundation analysis of Biden's signatures on various records, including last-minute pardons. And this has ignited a firestorm among the MAGA faithful like Juanita Broderick, who's saying this is huge. A small group of officials under both Biden and Trump have been delegated the power to get documents signed robotically, but 82-year-old Biden's perceived cognitive decline sparked debate about whether some aides may have assumed his wishes in his final stretch as commander-in-chief. So basically what they're saying is this aide went rogue, didn't look for the authorization of Biden himself, and just decided to go ahead and sign these documents anyway, including the pardons for people like Fauci and Hunter Biden. One Biden White House source told the Post they suspected that a key aide to the then president may have made unilateral determinations on what to auto-sign. The Post is not publishing that staffer's name due to the lack of concrete evidence and refutations by other colleagues, but we're going to go ahead and print the article anyway, because speculation and controversy is the currency of the internet these days. The Biden aide who did not respond to requests for comments, of course he didn't, because he might not exist, would frequently make mention of what the boss wanted, the source said, but compatriots would have no idea if it was true because the internal culture was to not ask questions. How convenient. Look what they say. I feared no one as much as I feared that staffer. To me, the staffer basically was the president, the person said. No one ever questioned the staffer, period. The source said everyone was suspicious of this individual exceeding their authority when claiming to speak for the president, but no one would actually say it. The Post's informant said, I think the aide was using the Autopen as standard and past protocol. There is no clarity on who actually approved what, the president of the United States or the aide. A second Biden White House source agreed that the person was suspected of assuming the then president's position and handing down orders without being clear if they actually had communicated with the commander-in-chief. Several other former staffers, including those who in the past have offered unvarnished assessments of what they view as the shortcomings of the ex-president and his core staff, described the allegations as absurd and said they never saw the person abuse their authority. What's interesting about the Washington Post and Newsmax and Faux News and everybody on the right is you never see any kind of substantial criticism going toward their own side. It is only lobbed from their side to the other side. Same thing with leftist sources like CBS, the counterfeit news network CNN, MSNBC or MSDNC, whatever you want to call it. So they're playing this back and forth dog and pony show that is completely rooted in the left versus right paradigm lie. And it's all to divide us, to demoralize us, to dehumanize us, to get us at each other's throat, to generate revenues and clicks so that the true money masters can continue to do what they do behind the scenes while these presidential psychopathic political puppets continue to do what they do on this side of the puppet show curtain. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comments section below. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. If you haven't, check out some of my videos that you may have missed. Here are 2 of them right there. I appreciate you guys being with me. If you want to support the channel further, the links are in the description. I have Cash App. I've got Buy Me a Coffee. I've got Patreon. I appreciate you guys supporting this dinky channel in the sea of corrupt politics. I will see you guys in the next video.